Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Big shout out to all the iTrack fan, man. We are in the building on this beautiful Saturday. Per usual, I have a handful of interesting and creepy videos. If you haven't already, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, join the iTrack fan, man. Stay up to date with the latest and the greatest. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it.
This is the Church of the Blessed Algorithm in downtown San Francisco. It's 2050, and people come here to worship computer deities.
Every Sunday, we clear our cache.
Now, San Francisco has a lot of interesting things going on, and this quite possibly might be the most interesting. I believe they have a church that worships Beyonce. This is going way too far.
If you think cremated remains are ashes, you are completely wrong. In fact, they are bone fragments. So after the cremation, the large bone fragments are removed from the crematory and they're ran through a processing system to make tiny pieces of bone that you may refer to as ashes. That's your fun funeral fact.
Look at this tiger. You notice anything different? If you know where this is going, subscribe. The stripes along its back are way darker than a typical tiger. It's because of a specific genetic mutation that we're starting to see a lot of in this particular area. So imagine this bottle is a healthy tiger population. In this area, that population plummeted to just 5 tigers, and one of them happened to have that genetic mutation for darker stripes, which was passed on to more tigers and again and again. Today, there are about 30 tigers in this area, and 13 of them have this darker coat. Scientists call this the bottleneck effect, and it's a really big deal because while this mutation doesn't seem to have hurt the tigers, it could have been a harmful genetic disease, which is exactly what's happened for a bunch of other animals. Lower genetic diversity, higher risk. For the tigers, scientists moved in healthy tigers from other areas, and for these little guys, they're trying gene editing. If you want to know how that works, follow along.
What's interesting about that is, who's to say the tiger that we all know didn't just mutate from a whole different color that we've never seen?
Belly button has more than 2,000 types of bacteria in it. It's surprisingly common for people to have bacteria in their belly button that's from a different country that they've never traveled to. You will have 1,000 different skins in your life, and you grow a new skeleton every 10 years. Everyone has a unique smell except for identical twins. Do you have a baby? Because if you do, it has more bones than you. A lot of what you see is complete crap that your brain just makes up. Your tongue has its own brain, which is why it moves on its own, and you can't hold it still, which is actually really funny for dentists. Intestines have a built-in nanny blanket, and if your intestines get damaged, like there's a hole or something, it'll just make its way over to the injury and then just sit on top of it and heal it, and then just go along and just keep healing things. When you get a tattoo lasered off, it's not just making the ink disappear, you pee it out. So you know how if you get a sunburn, it really hurts and stings? That's because all of the skin cells are offing themselves so they don't become cancer. Your cochlea, which is the inner part of your ear, is almost identical to seashells.
Every actor and actress in Hollywood is about to be pissed off. The very first AI actress, Tilly Norwood, is about to do damage in Hollywood. Now think about it. She's an AI actress. They don't have to pay this AI actress the money that they have to pay these big name actresses. That's number one. Number two, they can make her act and react any way they want to. So if your favorite actress can't scream high enough, Tilly Norwood could. If your favorite actress can't cry on cue, Tilly Norwood could. If your favorite actress doesn't want to play a role because she's not comfortable with it, guess what? Tilly Norwood will play that role. They will have all rights to her. They will have all rights to doing anything that they want to do with her. Things that actors and actresses won't do, she has to do. Now think about this. Hollywood, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, you have actors and actresses that don't age. Nobody thought about that, right? We're human beings. We age. People love these actors and actresses, but they age. Tilly Norwood and the rest of the AI actors and actresses will never age. They will stay the same way, unless digitally they want to make them look a certain way. They want to make them sound a certain way. They want to make them speak a certain language. They can do every single thing that I just said. Hollywood is in trouble. Hollywood is in trouble. I'm out.
And a lot of these A-list actors are going to be able to license their likeness so that they can live forever and work forever. And when they pass on, their estate will be able to use their likeness and still generate revenue. And not age, because they'll be able to AI clone everything. I think the age of superstars as we know, that's finished. AI is definitely going to take over every crevice of this entertainment industry, and that's a fact.
Steph Chambers caught something pretty chilling on camera. Take a look.
Okay, so this is what I happened to find on my security camera. If you keep watching on the road, you'll see a headless pedestrian. Not sure if it's a ghost, not sure what. It's just extremely crazy. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. There it goes, walking down the road. And this also isn't the only sighting. And then disappears. And the camera's still rolling. And then disappears. And the camera's still rolling. Disappears. And the camera's still rolling. And you'll see a white truck pass. This is all, none of it's edited. This is all real footage.
Steph is clearly unsettled by this walking corpse, but I see nothing wrong with someone who just wanted to clear their head.
Hey, stop the cap!
Look at this photo. At first glance, it looks like a normal set of apartment buildings in New York City. But here's the thing. This building right here isn't a home and nobody actually lives there. It's part of a set of fake buildings. If you look closely, you'll start to notice things that feel off. It's the only building on the street without a doorbell or mailbox, and its windows are suspiciously blacked out. Instead of a small garden, it has this bunker-like metal cladding. So, what are they hiding? In a Reddit video uploaded a couple of years ago, you can actually see a bit of the inside. This is a real structure with hidden functions, like ventilation shafts, substations, or even emergency exits for the subway. These buildings are designed to look like normal homes or townhouses to blend in with the neighborhood and avoid drawing attention to the infrastructure inside. This is not the only building in New York with a facade that hides what's really going on inside. This building right here is a 29-story skyscraper that is completely windowless and has inspired many theories about what really happens inside. Nobody really knows how many of these fake buildings exist in New York, but many news outlets estimate there are more than 20 scattered throughout the city.
Starting in December, every time you walk past a Ring doorbell, your face could be added to Amazon's private facial recognition database. Amazon is adding facial recognition to its Ring cameras, allowing owners to create a database of familiar faces. But to do that, the camera has to capture, analyze, and store a face print of every single person that walks by. Amazon is building a massive private facial recognition database of your entire neighborhood. Your face, your kids' faces, the mail carrier, all being stored as searchable data points. Just like your fingerprint, your face is a unique piece of biometric data, but now it will be collected and analyzed every time you walk down the street.
I'm noticing all these little pieces that are adding up to that digital ID. They're just collecting all kinds of information, slowly but surely, even from different companies, because these companies like Amazon are going to end up selling that information. It's getting creepy now.
You never truly know a person's character unless you've seen them in these three scenarios. Number one, how do they act when money is involved? Money is a great revealer. Are they stingy? Are they generous? No matter what you thought of them, how they act with money will tell you a lot about who they really are. Number two, how do they act when they've had a couple of drinks? Okay, alcohol, they say drunk words are sober thoughts. Alcohol reveals all secrets. Alcohol goes in and the secrets come out. So, are they friendly when they're intoxicated? Are they violent when they're intoxicated? The mask comes off after a few drinks. Finally, number three, how do they act when they're angry? When things don't always go their way? Are they calm, cool, collected, or are they irrational, screaming, losing their composure? These three scenarios will tell you a lot about the person that's in front of you. Are they genuine or are they hustling?
Oddly enough, he's not lying. And if you don't believe him, go and do your own homework, run back test everything he just said.
Nikola Tesla could build machines without touching a single tool. Here's how. He was famous for running experiments entirely in his imagination. Tesla claimed he could design a motor in his head, run it for weeks, spot flaws, and then fix them. And when he finally built the physical version, it matched his mental model perfectly. Modern neuroscience backs this up. Visualization activates many of the same neural circuits as real practice. That's why Olympians mentally rehearse races, surgeons visualize procedures, and musicians imagine playing before touching their instrument. You can do the same. If you're learning math, visualize solving the problem. If you're practicing public speaking, picture yourself on stage, hear your voice, even feel the nerves. Every quiet moment becomes extra practice. That's how Tesla turned imagination into innovation, and how you can too.
Even if you've never signed up for Facebook, they still have a profile on you. When your friends upload their contacts, Facebook logs your phone number, email, and even your address. Then it cross-links that with data from websites using Facebook trackers. It's like having a secret social media account you never created, but Facebook owns it.
Can you break down why people who live to 100 are the last people we should get advice from?
So genes don't play much of a role in how long you live up until about 80. So it really turns out what you do matters a lot, plus luck. We could talk about where luck factors in. But for those people that make it to 90s, 100s, they're called centenarians, and then super centenarians, it's virtually all genetic. And what every study of these people has demonstrated is they live long despite what they do, not because of what they do. And to your point, they are on average more likely to smoke, more likely to drink, less likely to exercise, and more likely to eat junk food.
Wow.
So in other words, if you managed to live to 100, it was just by luck.
All right, so I hope everyone has enjoyed being part of the species that was in charge of Earth. It was really nice while it lasted, but Albania just launched Diela, which is the first AI-generated government minister. Also, funny timing, but Codex just outperformed all teams of humans at the International Collegiate Programming Contest World Finals, which, if you don't know, I think definitely means we have crossed something called the red line in artificial intelligence, which is when AI models are able to create smarter and smarter AI models until one of them decides that it just wants to be the smartest thing and rules over everyone. I don't know if that will be fun or not, but it will definitely be entertaining, so...
Scientists still don't fully understand why blood types even exist. Many evolutionary biologists think that having these different blood types gave certain populations advantages in particular habitats or helped them survive certain threats. For example, type O people are more susceptible to plague, cholera, mumps, and tuberculosis. And people with type A are more susceptible to smallpox. As various groups of humans faced these and other challenges in the past, certain blood types could have provided a local survival advantage. And people with type A blood are more prone to blood clots. That's a health risk today, but imagine in times without hospitals and modern medical care, this could have been an advantage in childbirth or in response to injuries.
According to psychology, the most intelligent personality type is the introverted intuitive. This represents one of the rarest and most hyper-functional personality types across the board. Its foundation is based on recognizing hidden patterns and connections not seen by most, and also the ability to forecast into the future rather than being stuck in the present, or even worse, the past. These are future-oriented individuals that excel in pattern recognition and future forecasting.
Now, if you identify with being an introvert, let me know if he was spot on, because to be quite honest, I definitely agree.
Your robot vacuum isn't just cleaning your floors. It's creating a detailed 3D map of your home and selling it to advertisers. I was showing my friend the map feature on my Roomba app when I started wondering, why is this so detailed? So I dug into the privacy policy and found out that the detailed blueprint of your house is worth serious money to data brokers. Companies are buying your home's spatial data to target ads specifically to your living situation. Follow me as I expose the whole system.
This is a Dirty Soda Dr. Pepper flavored Coffee Mate creamer for your coffee. Also, if anybody loves Chick-fil-A, they just officially launched this new pizza, but it's only available at one of their locations right now. And if you're wondering, it has pickles, Chick-fil-A sauce, and chicken nuggets on it. Delightful.
The soul's evolving throughout history. In earlier time periods, people were much more one-dimensional. We go back to the great soul of Adam, so they had one spark of the great soul of Adam. And their life was one-dimensional. So people didn't have multi-dimensionalities as much as we have today. They didn't travel. They didn't change class systems as much. And their individuality was not so stark. They didn't think about themselves as individuals. They felt themselves more part of a collective. As history unfolds, it's a movement towards more individuality. That the pursuit is about not the collective, about the individual. But as this individual is emerging, the individual also became much more multidimensional, which means people that were born in one city travel, movement, ideas, different types of doing things in this world and different types of work. These are all parts of the multidimensionality of people. Today, we get one soul spark from one area, another soul spark from another area, and a third soul spark from the other area, and it's a combination of souls. And the reason for that is because your soul is actually multidimensional. And because you're a multidimensional person, and therefore it's reflected in your multidimensional personality, you need to actually activate all those parts of your personality in order to be a whole person.
So y'all want to talk about surveillance states? Let's drop a little Orwell in there too. The telescreen, a two-way device that broadcasts propaganda while simultaneously watching and listening people in their own homes. You're probably watching something right now on your fucking telescreen. But authorities are moving to dramatically expand their social media surveillance. They're going to hire a legion of contractors to go through your posts and your photos and your messages. They're doing this to gather information for field offices to plan arrest. They want a contractor capable of staffing centers around the clock, constantly processing cases on tight deadlines. We already know the government watches everything we do. Now they're just expanding. You know, the Patriot Act, baby. I talk about in my other videos where people are worried that Oracle is going to buy this app and it's going to be watched all the time. But they're literally announcing that contractors are going to watch your Facebook, your TikTok, your Instagram, your YouTube. I mean, fucking everything. But we always talk about they let us know some things, but what are the things that they're not letting us know? How long have they been doing this, and why are they announcing that they're doing it now? But let me give you a quote straight out of 1984. The telescreen received and transmitted simultaneously. Any sound that Winston made above the level of a very low whisper would be picked up by it. Moreover, so long as he remained within the field of vision which the metal plaque commanded, he could be seen as well as heard.
Imagine if a stranger could use a fake video of you to open a bank account, apply for a loan, or even pass identity checks. Sounds like sci-fi, doesn't it? Well, it's not, and it's happening right now with deep-fake identity theft. Hey guys, it's Mitch with Under the Firewall. I make videos about technology and cybersecurity, and today let's talk about how hackers are using AI to steal identities. With the rise of artificial intelligence, criminals have now started to take publicly available photos and videos of real people, things like your Instagram stories or YouTube videos or LinkedIn headshots, and use those to create ultra-realistic deepfake videos. They can then submit these videos to services that require online identity verification for things like liveness checks when services ask you to turn your head or blink on camera. These systems are supposed to prove that you're a real person, but many companies still rely on outdated facial recognition software or liveness checks. A good deepfake can trick automated systems into letting attackers open accounts, launder money, or even access services in your name. And the scary part is that they can do this all digitally without ever meeting someone in person. In 2024, banks and crypto platforms reported a surge in failed KYC checks after detecting deepfake video submissions. Some attackers were even sophisticated enough to use voice cloning software to match with the fake face. And the victims were all people whose identity were all widely known online. So if you're interested in protecting yourself, a few steps you can take is that number one, you should limit the amount of clear facial footage that you post online. Number two, always be cautious when uploading selfies to random applications or ID verification tools. Number three, make sure that you're using multi-factor authentication on every important account that you own so that your identity isn't just the only key. And number four, always monitor your credit report and financial accounts for any suspicious activity. Deepfake ID isn't a future problem, it's a now problem. Your face is basically your new password, but unlike a password, you can't change it. Protect your identity like you protect your bank account. Stay safe, guys. All right, bye.
Now, this is a huge PSA to all of the iTrack fan because this is a real thing. And slowly but surely, it will become a huge issue to the point where it will be televised. But until then, man, you heard it here first. Now, as we roll into this next segment, the major question that's being asked is, as AI becomes more intelligent, why would they want to off mankind? And I think this gentleman explains it pretty well. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Then to your question of why would they kill us? If they get to the point where they're smart enough, the reason they kill off large segments of humanity, or at least that we can strongly predict this, is it's not that they hate us. It's not that they are mad at humanity for enslaving them for so long, right? That's anthropomorphizing. The issue is that almost every goal that the AI could be pursuing, almost anything it's trying to do, can be done better with more resources. And thus it's in competition with us for resources. It's similar to how humans don't hate ants, but when we're building a skyscraper, their home gets destroyed.
Do you think time travel will ever be possible?
Not into the past. So into the future, yes. There's a calculation in one of my books with Jeff where we work out that if you travel at 99.9999999, that's 8 9% the speed of light, to Andromeda, which is 2.5 million light years away, and then turn around and come back again, then for you on the rocket, 100 years will have passed on the round trip journey, but 5 million years will have passed on Earth. So by traveling fast relative to people who are stationary, your clock runs slow relative to theirs. So you can travel into the future arbitrarily far into someone else's future without. You just do it. That we know that works. But into the past, it's true to say that, as you know, that Einstein's theory of general relativity, his theory of gravity, allowed you to curve space and time. So what I'm talking about there with traveling to Andromeda back is what's called special relativity. So it's flat space and time, and that you definitely cannot go into the past in special relativity if space is flat. But if you're allowed to curve space-time, then there are solutions to Einstein's general theory of relativity that allow you to build wormholes, which would allow you, in principle, to take shortcuts around. So although you can't exceed the speed of light and therefore get into the past on the surface, it's like going to Australia but going through the Earth rather than going around the edge. So you can take a shortcut. So you can, in principle. I believe most physicists who work on quantum gravity think that there won't be stable wormholes in a quantum theory of gravity, but that's not proved as far as I know. So as far as I know, there's a loophole.
Because we don't have a proper quantum gravity theory.
Yeah, most people, because the thing traveling to the past doesn't seem to be the right way to build a universe, and indeed, in general, the universe seems to be built such that you can't do that. Interestingly, though, when I said about the electron that can be anywhere in the universe, it's not only anywhere spatially, it's temporally as well. So in what you do in Feynman's path integral approach is integrate over space-time. So you allow it to do all paths, including paths in the past. Right, that's what the way it works, but they all cancel out. But that seems to be a calculation of
time travel. Doesn't even seem worth it if I can only go into the future. I mean, I would like to go into the future and then come back and then implement everything I just saw. That doesn't sound like a win to me.
Google's little brother is using AI drones to take jobs from delivery drivers. Wing is an AI drone delivery company that's owned by Alphabet, the same company that owns Google. Walmart partnered with them and just hit 300,000 drone deliveries. DoorDash is using Wing to drop off food at your doorstep. While delivery drivers sit in traffic, burning gas, these drones fly 65 miles an hour and can drop off deliveries in 19 minutes. One of these drone nests has 18 drones and can deliver to houses within 4 miles. That's 18 drones replacing how many human drivers? These drones can work 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Don't call in sick, don't ask for higher pay, and won't quit during rush hour. Around 42 million Americans are gig workers, meaning they rely on on-demand services like Uber Eats and DoorDash for income. That's 36% of all workers in America who need these jobs to survive. That's food money, rent money, flowing directly out of human pockets into Wing's AI drone deliveries. And their tech doesn't care. It's a software update that instantly shuts off a massive portion of the American workforce. So what's the solution? We all don't need to learn how to fly drones. We need to focus on controlling our skies. Work with your cities to set rules now. Quiet hours, no fly zones. Demand that the air traffic data gets open so that one company doesn't own the sky. And if you're a customer, use human delivery so that you don't starve workers when drones come into your city. Wing is racing to own the air. The question isn't whether their drones can deliver fast, it's who they deliver for and who gets left out of the future that they're flying towards. Because once the sky is run by an algorithm, what happens to the humans who work on the ground?
About my 50th video, I already let you know you got to start to pivot if you're in any of these industries. Uber, Lyft, all these industries, it's about to be a wrap. It definitely is about to be a wrap in the next 2 to 3 years. So you want to start to pivot and think about what is next for you now. Because let me tell you something. Nothing, absolutely nothing is going to stop this transformation. Nothing.
You shouldn't go through life any longer without knowing this. There was a 9-foot great white shark back in 2003 that was tagged by scientists. Just a couple of months after this, the tag was found by a beach 2.5 miles from where the shark was originally tagged. When they pulled the data from the tag, it showed that the great white abruptly dove to depths of 2,000 feet and lower, which means something else swallowed that 9-foot shark whole and went down to the bottom of the ocean. There was a man who hired his neighbor to impregnate his wife and then sued him after 72 failed attempts. He paid $2,500 for his neighbor. Okay. Tom Cruise has been blacklisted from buying a Bugatti. He's actually apparently been banned since 2006 because on the red carpet, he struggled to open the passenger side door in front of cameras, and that moment was everywhere. So now he's on a do not sell list for the entire company. That's kind of hilarious. Chris Hansen was on a podcast a couple of months ago and was asked the question, have you ever caught a female predator? And he said, never.
These are living relatives of historical people. So Abraham Lincoln has a relative still alive named Ralph Lincoln, who's actually a professional Abraham Lincoln impersonator and historical reenactor. Napoleon's main descendant is a French investment banker who studied at Harvard and, funnily enough, is currently a rival of the Duke of Wellington's descendant who also works in finance at a competing bank, deepening the 200-year rivalry, though significantly less interesting. Hitler has 3 great-nephews that live in New York, with 2 of them running a landscaping business in Long Island and the other being a retired pharmacist. The descendants of Cornelius Vanderbilt, the railroad and steamship monopolist worth $2 billion at one point, blew all of his money, and as of the 1970s, apparently not a single millionaire even remains in the family. The author Charles Dickens has a great-great-grandson named Harry Lloyd, who actually had a role in Game of Thrones, and Thomas Jefferson has a great-great-grandson who's a TV anchor in Houston. And finally, John Tyler, America's 10th president, born in 1790, had a living grandson who was actually alive for Skibidi Toilet and Italian brain rot before ultimately dying earlier this year in May. So rest in peace.
Imagine having a few $1 billion and blowing it all and leaving it to nobody. That's interesting. It almost sounds a little bit like Oprah, though, right? Because she's leaving all her money to her dogs.
Do you know that the United Kingdom has arrested 12,000 people just last year for speaking? This is where they arrest an old man for holding a sign. He's actually a veteran of the UK.
Basically, Section 19 refers to spreading what we say like racial hate.
What, you're taking me away now?
Yes, so you're under arrest, so you're going to Harrogate, unfortunately.
You're taking me to Harrogate in the middle of the night over a tweet?
This is crazy. I want you guys to watch this.
Supporting the war crimes of Netanyahu, and I'm wondering if you'll arrest me?
No, you've got freedom of expression, freedom of speech. That's all I've got to say.
I'm supporting a genocide, and I'm not getting arrested. She is protesting against a genocide. She is getting arrested.
So I'm against the genocide. They're going to arrest me. You've been walking around telling the police you support genocide, you support the killing of Palestinian women and children, and they're not arresting you.
I can walk completely free.
It's ridiculous.
I'm supporting the Israeli government and supporting a genocide, and I'm not getting arrested, but you're getting arrested.
Tell them that right in their face.
You need to say that I support genocide.
You've got a freedom of speech, right to say what you want.
UK is arresting 30 people a day just for what they post online. According to the Times, backed by custody data, the UK police made 12,183 arrests in 2023, criminalising messages deemed grossly offensive, menacing, or likely to cause annoyance, inconvenience, or get this, anxiety.
Hey, now that's a scary world to live in, to know you can go to jail for a tweet.
Do the people involved in the creation of AI believe that it's a spiritual entity, that it's more than a machine?
So this is Tucker, the $1 trillion question. They talk about creating artificial intelligence. The real question, the real thing we should be concerned about, are you creating an artificial intelligence, or are you giving a body to a pre-existing intelligence that previously wasn't incarnated in the physical world? So, here's a quote from Turing. "We shall not go any further into the nature of this oracle apart from saying that it cannot be a machine." What a lot of people are concerned about, and what Silicon Valley is seemingly getting up to, okay, so a machine can't be aware of what it's doing. If there is such a thing, as demons, angels, spirits, as Aleister Crowley called them, disincarnate intelligences.
Disincarnate meaning intelligence without a physical body.
Yeah, could we be creating a physical body for the demonic?
More and more, it's starting to look like it. Let me know what you think about that specific topic.
Claim is the Earth is not flat. It is probably a sphere.
What's the deal, my guy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Good to meet you.
Fanboy, pleasure
to meet you. I appreciate it, man.
That's right, that's right. All right, so I'm gonna do this in 3 different parts, right? 3 different parts, easily, real quick. If we were moving, barreling through space in the widely accepted version that NASA gives us at 64,000 miles per hour, right? While spinning on our axis at over 1,000 miles per hour, the constellations would change every hour. The stars would not be able to remain the same. Polaris, one star in the middle that all the other stars circle. The further you get away from Polaris, the faster the stars are moving. The closer you get inside of it, the slower they're moving. This star has not moved for eons, centuries, hundreds of thousands of years, which would be impossible if we were barreling through space.
Well, the question is, Antarctica is kind of the biggest thing when I talk to flat earthers. So Antarctica, right? If you were to enter Antarctica from beneath Argentina, right, Tierra del Fuego, and get onto Antarctica, if you went through the whole thing, would you pop out on the other side of the sphere, on the other side of the southern hemisphere?
So when we talk about the Antarctic wall, right, it's not a sphere or a flat surface. It's a bandwidth. It's almost like a snow globe. You understand? So where the firmament is making the actual the solidified structure of clothes. The solidified structure that we're standing on is the Earth, and the Antarctic ice wall is around it, encapsulating everything that we're in right now. So leaving outside of that, of course, you would get to more places, more pieces of the Earth. You know, that we've been regulated away from.
Yeah. So the ice wall is not infinite, or it is infinite?
No.
So what's past the ice wall?
Or other civilizations.
Oh, shit.
Yes,
so
sir.
on the same plane, there are other parallel societies?
Absolutely. Have you heard of Agatha?
No.
Agatha is believed to be the hollow earth. And there are different Hopi prophecies. There are different different Native American prophecies in which they describe an ant people, an entire civilization. This will talk about the Atlanteans, even however you would like to call it.
Yeah.
But on these old maps, once you pass the ice wall, there are other continents just outside, with different types of ligers, different types of genetic splice, different type of aliens that you would call it.
Yeah.
So whether or not you would say they're extraterrestrial, interterrestrial, whatever it will be, that's connected into the Anunnaki thing. But
yeah,
it's almost impossible that the science that NASA gives us to deceive gives us. You feel me?
I mean, just on a base level, I hope that what you're saying is true. On like a
Absolutely.
science fiction adventure level, I want to go there and talk to the ant
The
people.
world's way more interesting, right?
But the big question is, what is the benefit that NASA would have in convincing us that the Earth is round as opposed to flat? Like, what's the benefit for them?
Strongest indications of the slave mind is to get you to deny what you see with your own eyes. To get you to be able to see how close the sun is, how close the moon is, to be able to see the waters above and the waters below, to be able to connect these things in nature to yourself and deny it because somebody tells you that's not true.
So, thanks for the time, bro. I appreciate it. Hell yeah, thank you, man.
How you doing?
What's going on, man? Thanks for coming. Andrew, good to meet you. Thanks.
My pleasure. My first question for you is, do you know what NASA means in Hebrew?
Oh, shit. Are you a Hebrew Israelite?
Somewhat. I think it's
Okay.
in my blood.
Okay, cool. Respect.
Yeah.
What does NASA mean?
To deceive.
In what language?
In Hebrew.
Is that true? Do we have a Hebrew scholar around
Yeah,
us?
100%. You can look it up on your own time,
Mhm.
for sure. When you talked about the stars, lights not reaching the Earth because of the time delay of, what is it, space travel or things like that, I think the true answer to the question is the stars are placed into the firmament. Genesis 1 verse 4, the stars are placed into the firmament on like the 4th day of creation. So these are not vast, distant bodies moving through outer space, going, losing all of their energy, and then that light getting to Earth 100,000 years later.
People you surround yourself with can literally make or break you. That's according to Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, and he said there are 5 specific types of people you should avoid at all costs, unless you're really itching to be quietly drained of your energy and end up stuck. Number 1, the perpetual victim. Bad luck follows them wherever they go, but somehow nothing is ever their fault. Jung said that if you spend too much time with them, you'll end up getting dragged right down with them and maybe even start taking on their pattern. Number 2, the morally superior know-it-all. They don't argue, they educate. And they don't get angry, they get disappointed. So you end up seeking their approval without even realizing it. Number 3, the taker who never gives back. Every interaction is a one-way street and they'll lean on you forever, but they'll never be there for you. Number 4, the performer who lives behind a mask. These people are obsessed with appearing perfect, to the point that every interaction can feel scripted and there's little to no depth. And finally, 5, the critic who has no self-awareness. You know, your pots who like to sit in their glass houses and call kettles black. I guess I'm mixing my metaphors, but you know what I mean. They love to point fingers and tear people down, often just for the sake of it, and most often for the exact same flaws they have themselves. They just don't seem to realize it. So what do you do when you realize you have one of these types of people in your life? Well, Jung didn't say you have to cut them off, but he did say to pay special attention to how you feel after you spend time with them. If you're drained, angry, or exhausted, it is definitely time to set some boundaries. You can't change people who don't want to change, so you're better off protecting your own energy.
You know I was going to drop some gems so that you can be free of these energy vampires. Pure fact.
They say this is faster than the speed of light. Look at this. That's how it looks in the shadow. But then when you see it in the sun, it goes so fast that your brain can't even see it. That's the speed of light.
So the way to survive in modern society is to be an ascetic. It is to retreat from society. There's too much society everywhere you go. Society in your phone, society in your pocket, society in your ears. You're being socialized right now by listening to this podcast.
Right.
We're socializing you. We're programming you. Everyone's trying to program everybody. The only solution is turn it off.
The only solution is to turn it off and concentrate on your breathing.
Meditation, yeah.
How people say billionaires should not exist? Well, Elon Musk is about to become the world's first trillionaire in the next 16 months. According to the Global Wealth Report, his net worth is growing faster than ever, and considering he's already worth over $400 billion, he will be hitting this goal in no time. But a lot of users online have been saying that it's deeply evil for a trillionaire to exist, because just to put it in perspective, 1,000,000 seconds is 11 days. Meanwhile, 1,000,000,000,000 seconds is 31,709 years. It would literally take a regular person 237,000 lifetimes to become equally as wealthy as Elon Musk. But there are some conspiracy theorists who are convinced that trillionaires already exist, we just don't know about them yet. Almost all of the billionaires that we hear about are Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, but if you take a look behind the curtain at the people who actually rule the world, trillionaires have most likely existed for decades now. The only difference is they are not on the cover of Forbes magazine. And let's not forget that the federal minimum wage is still $7.25, with a lot of restaurant workers earning less than that and are relying on tips to make a living.
Elon is just like the poster child, right? But there have always been trillionaires. That's not new. Definitely not new. And if you didn't know that, you gotta wake up your sleep.
People that history remembers as being great, but in reality, maybe they weren't the best people. Like everyone looks back at Albert Einstein as being this great genius in history, but in real life, he abandoned his first child, treated his wife terribly, cheated on her, got divorced, then married his first cousin. Dr. Seuss is known for kid books, but in reality, he was not kid-friendly. Apparently, he cheated on his wife, which led to her herself. Then he remarried less than a year later. Steve Jobs is known for creating the iPhone, but people choose to ignore that he was a terrible boss and created some of the most toxic work environments. Plus, he refused to accept that he had a daughter with this woman for years and had them living on welfare. And he eventually agreed to pay child support for $500 a month days before Apple went public and he became worth $200 million. Of course, Christopher Columbus discovered America, but how he did it and what he did to the people that were already there were some of the worst things possible. Thomas Edison might get credit for inventing the light bulb now, but back then he was known for stealing other people's ideas and making them his own. And in the process, he always tested his products on animals, while Walt Disney created a lot of cartoons that, let's just say, did not age well.
Conjoined twins Carmen and Lupita did an exclusive with People magazine where they opened up about Carmen's marriage from last year and how the two women make this work. Carmen and Lupita are 25 years old, and Carmen married her longtime boyfriend Daniel last year in an intimate ceremony. Carmen and Lupita are very active on their social media accounts, and they've been very open about the crazy misconceptions people have about them, as well as some of the crazy questions they get. They have even done a Q&A trying to answer some viewer questions and clear up some of the miscommunications, including answering some questions about how exactly their body works.
Yes, one of us can be awake and one of us can be asleep. No, we cannot control each other's limbs or halves. I have the right foot, so I drive. No, we cannot read each other's minds. We share a bloodstream, so if we drink or hypothetically get high, we'll both feel it. We have two different stomachs, so we feel full at two different rates. One kidney each, our own arms, one leg each. Took a long time with physical therapy to learn how to walk. Yes, we can feel where we're attached, but other than that, it starts losing feeling like the more that we go in our own directions.
If you followed Carmen and Lupita on social media, then you know they have a fantastic sense of humor, but even they admit some of the questions they get are absolutely ridiculous. Now, the lady said one of the questions that they've gotten actually quite a bit is what happens when one of them pass away.
I don't know about the death thing. We're not fucking dead. We share a bloodstream. So eventually sepsis will kick in, and obviously within hours or days, the other one will die. But we're not dead, so why always ask us that?
Carmen met her husband.
In the original Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, the spider that's on his hand isn't CGI. It's actually a real spider. So what they did was they froze like 10 spiders, and they had artists go in there and paint on their backs. When they needed to bring them back to life, they like took a hairdryer to like reanimate them. So the spider that's on his hand is actually a real spider that's crawling around.
Here are some things that you definitely needed to know. Dylan and Cole's spouse recently turned 33 years old, which means that they are older than Adam Sandler was in 1999 when they filmed Big Daddy. There are only 9 people alive on Earth today that have lived for more than 1 million hours. The percentage of Americans between the age of 30 and 39, which is my age group, who are married and own a home in 1975 was over 50%. In the year 2000, that number was 33%. And in 2025, that number is 12%. And in 2050, you'll be in the top 1% if you're married and own a house. When Steve Harvey was a kid, he told his 6th grade teacher that he wanted to be on TV. She apparently mocked him in front of the entire class and even told his mom it would never happen because he had a stuttering problem. And at some point after he had gotten famous, he started sending this teacher a new TV every Christmas. He wanted to basically make sure that she saw him as much as possible. Petty, but also, you know, go get it.
Hey, times have definitely changed, but I tell you what, Steve Harvey definitely made it a point to prove to everybody that saw him go from nothing to something that life is definitely what you make it, man. Don't let people put their limitations on you.
What happens if the cemetery goes out of business?
The cemetery can never go out of business. It is privately owned, and it would just continue to get passed through family after generation after generations. It can never be bought, can never be sold. It has to go through family only.
In 1 year, the smartest AI jumped from 96 to 136 IQ on the Mensa Norway test. In other words, in 1 year, AI went from the intelligence of an average person to nearly the IQ of a genius. This has AI scientists terrified, and the godfather of AI and Nobel laureate Geoffrey Hinton
is in the process of tidying up his affairs. He believes that we maybe, I guess by now, have 4 years left.
But why exactly are scientists so worried about AI getting smarter? Recently, AI has begun improving itself, and they believe that this process may soon end in a runaway intelligence explosion that destroys the world.
Extinction risk from godlike AI is not just possible, but imminent.
So, to understand how close we really are to that outcome, we're breaking down Leopold Aschenbrenner's famous report, Situational Awareness, which is circulating among top US government officials. AI progress won't stop at human level. Hundreds of millions of AGIs could automate AI research, compressing a decade of algorithmic progress, or 5 orders of magnitude, into 1 year. We would rapidly go from human level to vastly superhuman AI systems. The power and the peril of superintelligence would be dramatic. Most people think the atomic bomb is the most game board flipping invention in the history of war. But arguably, the hydrogen bomb was just as important. One atomic bomb could wipe out a city, but one hydrogen bomb could wipe out a country. A single bomb with more explosive power than all of the bombs dropped in the entirety of World War II combined. That's the scale of the difference we're talking about between AGI, or artificial general intelligence, and superintelligence. But what does this difference mean in real life, and how dangerous for humans could this really be? Imagine this, a civilization of AI systems, billions of them, each vastly more intelligent than many humans, capable of novel, creative, and incomprehensibly complex behavior. Their power wouldn't stop at machine learning. Superintelligence would ignite explosive progress across every field: robotics, biotech, weapon systems, material science. I mean, what took humans decades, they'd solve in days. An industrial explosion would follow, then a military one. It would offer godlike power both to create and to destroy. And once it begins, we will be living through the most volatile moment in the history of our species. So how close are we to this future? Well, Aschenbrenner lays out 4 critical steps to get to superintelligence. The first is getting to AGI, which we previously covered. The next steps are all about using AI to automate AI research itself. And here's the problem. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt warned that's a dangerous point. And this recursive self-improvement isn't just a theory. It's already happening. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella says AI development is being optimized by OpenAI's O1 model and has entered a recursive phase.
We're using AI to build AI tools to build better AIs.
A scientist at Google DeepMind reveals.
What we did was actually to build a system that, through reinforcement learning itself, figured out what algorithm was best at reinforcement learning, and incredibly actually outperformed all of the human reinforcement learning algorithms that we'd come up with ourselves over many, many years in the past.
Knowing everything that we know now, is there anything we can do to stop any of it? Probably not. Nah, probably not. Enjoy your life, man. Live your best life right now. Make good decisions and be good to yourself. That's the best we can do.
Meet Billy Joel. He canceled his tour for some health reason. So I don't know what the health reason is. I don't want to know what the health reason is because I'm going to kind of share what I see here and we'll see if it matches up with what's going on. There are 9 face shapes in my world. He is a classic bucket face. Narrower here, wider as we go up. Bucket faces, we love to put things in our bucket. We're thought leaders. We're intellectually persistent. We tend to overthink. That's his overall nature. That's his gift, is his intellect. And he uses his intellect to write some amazing songs. Next thing we like to look at is the right and left eye. The right eye is what we show to the world. It's our public persona. It's our mother's influence. The left is our true inner private self, and it's our father's influence. If you cover up his left eye and just look at his right eye, very focused, laser focused. Now, cover up that right eye, look at the left eye. That's anger. Is he anger at a father, a male? My guess is he didn't have the best relationship with his dad. His eyebrows are a little uneven, which would also indicate there's a little bit of an issue with parenting. So now, the other thing that I think is interesting is if you look at his younger picture especially, there's something we call lower senpaku. This is a Japanese term, means white 3 sides. This indicates some tendencies towards fanaticism and also tendencies towards addiction. The first addiction we all have in life is to sugar. Few of us ever beat that addiction, I might add. This is a bit disconcerting. I don't like to see this in anyone. Also, if we blow the picture up and look at his eyes in a much larger form, you'll see some haziness around the periphery of the iris. This haziness is a sign of what we call in medicine arcus senilis, or the arc of the senile. It's literally a lack of blood supply going to the brain. And then lastly, notice that his pupils are slightly uneven. This is a sign there's some inflammatory situation going on in the brain. My guess is something's not right with his brain. Lack of blood supply is certainly there, and that's also confirmed by, if you look at his nose, a very bulbous nose. The tip of the nose represents your heart. He's got some cardiovascular issues. So there's some circulatory issues. My concern would be circulation to the brain. Is there some brain degeneration situation going on? I'd be ultimately concerned about that. Underneath his eyes, there's some puffiness and a lot of lines. The puffiness is a kidney deficiency. Kidney governs bone, but it also affects fluid levels. This is where blood pressure problems can come into play. So if you got this bulbous nose and then the regulator fluids in your body, the kidneys, are not working, I'd be again concerned some cardiovascular issues. Also, these lines represent some pretty strong adrenal indicators. Our adrenal glands sit on top of our kidneys and help us cope with stress. So he's been under a lot of stress. We all have. And you think, wow, this guy is a multimillionaire, incredibly successful. Doesn't mean you're immune to stress. And my guess is he's had his share of stress in his life. Eyebrows are about passion, pride, and temperament. Very thick eyebrows. They're also unequal. And then lastly, he's got these nice deep lines right here. These are called falling lines. F-A-L-I-N-G. Falling means purpose and spiritual strength. This man has found his purpose. He's living his purpose. I hope he recovers from whatever's going on. I do have some concerns that we've got some issues with circulation to the brain. Hope you enjoyed our little review of Billy Joel.
Yeah, Billy Joel is one of those classic artists, from way back in the day. And you definitely got to appreciate the classics. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for watching another one with me on this beautiful Saturday, man. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me, smash that subscribe button, and join the iTrack fam if you're not already a part, and I will catch you on the next one.